Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk. My name is John, and today here on the channel we're going to be talking about the latest film from Alex Garland, Civil War. So Civil War was written and directed by Alex Garland. This is the latest film from him. Before he became a director, Alex Garland wrote such films as 28 Days Later, Sunshine, and Dread. Then in 2014, he took the helm himself and he directed Ex Machina, which is considered a modern-day sci-fi classic. Then he did what I consider to be his best film, 2018's Annihilation. And then in 2022, he released Men. And while I thought that film was very ambitious, I didn't really enjoy that film, and I didn't really think it stuck the landing. But Civil War might actually be Alex Garland's most ambitious film yet, especially releasing it during an election year. That is very ambitious of himself, feeling very confident about himself. And I didn't know too much about this film going in. What I was expecting this film was to be a very political film, but actually it takes a very neutral stand when it comes to politics by giving us this film from the perspective of the journalist. The film is led by Kirsten Dunst, who does play a photojournalist, a very successful one at that. She's very famous for her photography during this Civil War that's going on, the way she could just get in there, and she has to do that because she's a very cold person. She's built up a shell around herself, so she's not the most approachable person. And she's joined by Wagner Moura, who is fantastic in this film, by the way. He does a great job. I never knew that this guy could act this good. He is so good in this film. And the two of them are about to take a journey from New York City to Washington, D.C. to interview the President of the United States, played by Nick Offerman in this movie. And the two of them are going to be joined by Kaylee Spaney, who we all just saw last year, and Priscilla gave a great performance as Priscilla Presley, and Stephen McKinley Henderson, who is always fantastic. So this movie actually ends up becoming a road trip movie, really only taking place over the course of, at max, a couple of days. You get all the road trip tropes in there, while also showing us a very violent and very realistic approach to a civil war that we really don't know exactly what was the cause of this. We're really only seeing the effect in this movie, which is very bold, and I really didn't expect that going in. This is really just a straightforward road movie with very great action sequences mixed in. We also get, the great power couple of Hollywood right now, Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons. Although Jesse Plemons might have been featured a lot in the trailer, he doesn't have a huge role in this movie, but he does have a very memorable performance in here. Honestly, the big standout to me was really the sound design for this movie. It was mixed so well. We get really loud moments that go right down into almost silent moments, and it's edited so well. These characters are photojournalists, so we see them taking pictures, and we'll cut to the actual photograph that they just took, which is fantastic. A great tool in this movie. Really helps it to stand out, which really does bother me because my biggest negative of this movie is in the third act. We go to a very famous city that we've seen in film numerous times. We've seen it destroyed in film numerous times as well, and it ends up just feeling like a very generically shot film, like modern day cinematography, which you guys have heard me complain about here on the channel before, that almost highlight overexposure look around the lights. You guys probably saw that first in House of Cards, that kind of almost Netflix look that they made famous. We see it so much in horror films, and it's just becoming the 2020s thing to do when it comes to cinematography. But this movie was supposed to look very realistic, and for the most part, for the first 2/3 of this film, it does. It feels very natural, very real, very raw, and very violent. Like the way the gunshots sound, it sounds almost like the gunshots from Heat, which I consider to be the best gunfire in film history. This was really matching that. So the great audio, and then even in the third act, it does have fantastic audio. I just feel like those visuals just really let me down in the third act. It's just a look that I guess a lot of people like, but I really don't enjoy that. I really kind of felt like that made the third act look very artificial and fake, where it could have looked very realistic like the rest of the film did. So that really kind of dragged it down for me in the third act. It would just take me out of the film. There were very shocking moments in this movie, very well acted moments in this movie, and again, that sound design is fantastic. So overall, I thought that Civil War was a great film. It wasn't the greatest film I ever saw, and it wasn't the film I was expecting to see, but for what it is, I really did enjoy this one. It's not overly long as well. You're in and out, you're gonna have a good time, and again, it's very loud. It's an attack on your senses. Like, I enjoyed that. I love very loud movies. You should see my house shaking every time I watch a movie, but my wife, Faith, she doesn't like that for the most part. She was covering her ears throughout this movie, so she didn't appreciate that. So I can see some people being very mixed on the sound design for this film, but I really enjoyed that. So overall, I think that Civil War is a film that you guys should go see in the biggest and loudest theater possible, and if I was gonna give this film a score from 1 to 10, I would give Civil War a pretty solid 8 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it here for me on another episode of Let's Talk. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video, turn notifications on. Believe it or not, all of that helps this channel to continue to grow. We also have channel memberships. If you want to become a friend of the channel, become a producer like John Doe Juggalo, Jason Martin, and Mr. Smelly Potato, you can do that. And then we have the big boy tier, the director's tier, where you're going to find Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews. Him and John Doe Juggalo also both have great YouTube channels you guys should check out, especially if you're a fan of physical media. and I promise you they will not let you down. But if you got no money to throw our way, don't worry about it. We just appreciate you checking out the video. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you guys get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.